Hi, it's Beep again. I want to show you my Presto cooker and what I think of it. So this is my Presto saucepan. I bought it last year. I bought it through eBay from America. And now with my more knowledge, I wish I'd bought a bigger one. I think the bigger one is just higher so that you can put 2 layers in. At the moment, I can get 7 Kilner jars in here. I'll show you. See, it comes with a trivet, and the trivet stops the jars from touching the bottom of the saucepan because it gets to huge pressure. So I'm just going to show you. These are 4 here. Well, this time you can see it's actually 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the outside, and 1 would go in the middle. It depends on the size, but this is the size I tend to use. It's a 500 ml, which is a really good size. So, like if I've got French beans in, it's enough, depending how much everybody eats. But the French beans are usually a side dish, and that's enough for the 4 of us. The setup here is exactly how I would have it when I've got food, when I'm canning food. This is the lid, and one thing you have to make sure is that this is tight on, tight, because the very first time I used it, it wasn't, and all the air escaped. Show you. So this is on the inside, and that's the little twirly thing. This pushes up, as you can see there, when the pressure is built up, and then it sort of makes a gurgling sound and makes a bit. But the very first time I used it, I hadn't tightened it, and all the air escaped, so I had to turn it all off and allow it to cool down before I could open the lid, because the lid has got so much pressure on. And let's start again. This is the pressure gauge. Always ensure you got it tightened. There's a little screw on the inside, and that tells you everything, what the pressure is. And ours always goes up to 10 because I've got a special pressure for this one. It comes with a different one, but I had to buy a special one. So the canner came with this weight, which goes onto that. Let me just show you. It goes on this spout here, and then there's bobbles going up and down. This one is fine, so the canner comes with this one, but this you have to watch that it doesn't go because the pressure depends on which country you're in. So it sounds all confusing, but it's not as difficult as you think. But here in the UK, I need to have the pressure at 10. So this one will go over, it will go over 15, so it doesn't matter, but it's just you're using too much gas and electric to hold it at that number. So somebody recommended buying a different weight that kept it at 10. And so I went on Amazon and found this one. And it doesn't need this ring. It just needs these 2 small ones. So I don't actually use this one anymore. And when I get it up to pressure, I put this one on, and that keeps it at 10. And I think the bottom one would be just 5, and this one is 10, and this 3rd ring would keep it at 15, and I don't need it. So this, I can, once it's all up to pressure and it's working, I can leave this just running by itself, because this little thing keeps it at 10 and it doesn't go over. So I just have to put my timer on to how long I need to have it in there. The lid goes on one specific way. There's an arrow on here, and there's an arrow on there. So those 2 need lining up, and then you can push it in place, and now it would be sealed. And once it's sealed and the gas is on and your food's in there, and this little spout comes up, and then you need, the way I could do it, in the book I follow, I'll show you in a minute, this needs to first spout hot air for 10 minutes, and as that's spouting for 10 minutes, then I put the weight on, and after 10 minutes, and then once this is on there, it goes to pressure. That takes another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It goes very quick on my gas one, much slower on my electric. And then once it's on 10, then I put a timer on to see, and whatever my tomato mixture is in there for about 40 minutes. But I'll show you my book. So I used the Amish cookbook. I bought several other ones, but they didn't really explain it very well, so I returned those. And I like the fact it's ring bind, I can open it, and it's got all these different recipes, and it explains exactly what you need to do. It's well worth buying. I've got nothing to do with it, I don't make commissions, but it's an absolute brilliant book if you are planning on canning. I would thoroughly recommend buying a canner, but I've now become quite serious, so I wish I'd bought a bigger one, and then the bigger one I would have been able to put 2 layers in. I think how the double layer, it's higher, the whole saucepan is higher, and so you'd have 7 or 8 in the bottom here, and then you'd put add another trivet, and then you would have another layer on top. So instead of 7 or 8 in the bottom, I could have 14 or 16 in there. And so it depends how serious you are at wanting to do it. But me doing 14 at the same time as 16 cost me the same in gas or electric, so with costs being expensive, it may be worth me looking into a bigger one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them if I can.